So somebody asked me from a previous video about the K&N air filter in my car and why there's no video on it. Well, simply because when I got this car, I put the K&N in before I, had any intentions of making videos about the car and basic maintenance on it and things like that. So the K&N is already installed. It was not on when I bought the car. I kept the factory airbox and all that. There's lots of debate about whether these things do any good or not. For me, it's not about the supposed, 11 horsepower at 5,700 RPMs or whatever it is they claim that it does. For me, to be honest, it was just about the sound. This open air intake, makes a nice little growl under heavy throttle. And under partial throttle, as the throttle body plates, open and hit a certain point, you get this little whistle noise, and it sounds cool. As childish as that sounds, driving this car around is kind of fun. It's a manual, so going through the gears and hearing that little bit of as you get on the throttle, and then that kind of deeper, old school 4-barrel noise. If you're old like me and you grew up with 400 4-barrels and things like that, when you got on the throttle hard, you'd hear that deep noise as you get on it. And so this kind of emulates that a little bit. So do I think that there is a noticeable power gain from putting in one of these K&N systems? Not really. I mean, maybe on a dyno, you could prove, I got an extra 8 horsepower. To me, that didn't matter. That's not what it was about for me. So I like the look of it. I like the sound of it. And so that's why I did that. The install was very straightforward. These kits are obviously well engineered. Removing the old airbox was easy. Putting this, rubber gasket on the shield that they give you was no problem. They have you move over this piece from your original airbox over to between these couplers so that you can still use the factory MAF plug, mass air meter plug, and then they provide another hose to go back. I forget what you call that, but it goes back further and plugs in to, I think, the valve cover. Don't recall off the top of my head, but all of this went very smoothly. Putting this together was, a half-hour process. So that is the K&N filter in my car, and the childish reasons behind why I have one.